Cool. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here today, and thank you so much to ASO Conference for counting on me another year. So the topic that I will be talking about applies both for apps and games. So though I'm coming from Gameloft, I think that all of you who are peers from apps company can also benefit from it. I have applied this before coming to Gameloft in other agencies where I was working on apps, so I can already prove that it works. So quick introduction about myself. I've been working on marketing for over 13 years, first on paid campaigns, then I moved to SEO, and for the last 5 years I've been working on ASO. I'm in love with data and analytics. If not, I would not be able to do properly my job, and you can learn more about me on my website, and I'm currently ASO expert at Gameloft. So today's agenda is going to be going through the steps and the tools that the Google Play Console will give you to see how you would be doing in another category with your current performance, and how in a way you can trick the algorithm to give you more organic visibility for that sense, and how it can affect also other traffic sources. And I will be presenting a case study about how we did this strategy on one of the Gameloft games and which were the results. So first of all, what does the category selection imply on Google Play? So it's important to understand that the category will show you how you're performing versus your category peers. It will also influence the ads inventory for UA on different networks, and will also influence the UA ads placements inside the Google Play Store for UAC ads. The category that you're going to be selecting will also impact the store listing similar games that are going to be appearing on your listing, as well as where you're going to be appearing as a similar game. And will also obviously influence category rankings and algorithm featurings that you can also be obtaining, not only the ones that you can be also actively pitching. And this will also influence, for example, what Matheus was mentioning before and Luca about in promotional content on the store. So once you know what the category affects on the store and also UA, so not only ASO, why opting for a category change on Google Play Store? So first of all, to improve your conversion rate versus the peers that you're in the category that you're going to be selecting. Also to increase explore discoverability and the visibility of your game through that traffic source. And most important, to impact all traffic sources conversion rate results versus peers, not only worldwide, but also in different countries. And in this case, I would recommend to focus especially the analysis on the top 5 monetization countries, so you can see how all traffic sources, as well as the specific traffic sources of Search, Explorer, and third-party referrals can be benefiting for those top countries that you would be receiving the revenue for. So, disclaimer before starting, Explore traffic is the main one that is going to be affected by a category change. Third-party referrals would be also important to take into consideration. And lastly, the search ones, because the keywords are not influenced by the category that you're in. It doesn't matter your app, you're a game, in which category your app or game is at. The keywords ranking, the keywords visibility is not affected by the category your game or app is in. The new category selected needs to also be relevant, because if not, you can be in the risk of a rejection from the store in the review process, or even after, though you might be going through the review process, you might be at the end having a rejection or a failed content from the team of the Google Play Store. Also, it's important that when you're going to be presenting the analysis of which categories can be prospect for your app or game and which is going to be the result at the end, that you analyze the same amount of days for the periods that you're going to be selecting on the date range. And also make sure that when you're going to be running these analyses, either before or after, it's either A, there is no noise from other external content that you might be doing, like promotional content, A/B tests, UA, influencer marketing, marketing activations, or if these are variables that are going to be taken into account or into consideration through the periods of time that you're going to be analyzing, take into account what you're having. It's either UA active, in which country, for which networks, it's either influencer or promotional content, how it is affecting, so you can also extrapolate this data and take this noise out from the final analysis that you're going to be conducting. So let's dive into it about how to conduct analysis. So when you go to the Google Play Console, when you're analyzing the conversion rate analysis, you will see how you're currently doing. for your current performance, and you can see a drop-down menu about which categories you can be inside it. So you can see how you would be doing with your current store listing visitors, acquisitions, and conversion rate, and in which percentiles you would be for each of the traffic sources. And you can also filter this per country or even worldwide. Then, how to conduct. It is really easy to understand which are the KPIs that you should be focusing for the analysis. Would be store listing visitors, store listing acquisitions, conversion rate, as well as the percentiles for each of those, and category rankings and featuring occurrence. Then that should be before. After, you should be also checking the same KPIs, but also taking into consideration which has been the increase or the decrease, and which has been the fluctuations in the sense of category rankings impact and featuring occurrences impact. Then moving on to a deep dive case, and the case study of Gangster New Orleans. This was a game that didn't have any UA active, didn't have any live ops in game, nothing was promoted through live ops cards, no promotional content, there was no influencer activations, no marketing activation, there was nothing, everything was organic. And so that is why it was the great example of how to start explaining why this category change analysis can be a good option. So for Gangster New Orleans on Google Play, the game was initially a category. The conversion rate was lower versus peers for all traffic sources on each specific traffic source worldwide, and especially for the top 5 countries on monetization-wise. Then you can see here which was the initial picture of the game. And we run the analysis of the drop-down menu to see in which other categories the game could be fitting and how the performance could be improved, as I showed you before. And we run it for role-playing, adventure simulation, and we compare the results with action. Then after the change, as I said before, Explore would be the traffic source that would be the main one impacted by a category change. So you can see how we opted out to move the game from action to role-playing. And it improved the percentile versus the peers performance for all the traffic sources, especially for Google Play Explore and for all traffic sources. Also, store listing visitors and acquisitions were improved, and overall, the conversion rate increased 3.34 percentile points. After the category change, we also saw an increase of over 120 average positions on category ranking, whereas before, when we were in action, the game was not over 150th position on the average. Now we were over the 50th position. Also, when it comes to rhythm featuring occurrences, the game also instantly moved to an increase over 64% increase on occurrences, and all of these were algorithm based on the new, and all of these new featurings were based on the new category change name. So in this case, RPG. As I showed you, the occurrences increased, which also increased the featuring downloads estimation over 40%, and all of those were for Explore.